guys to Passion Pursuits. My name is Premal, this is Shivani, and we have our awesome guest here, Basim Mirza. And by the way, we're sitting in the awesome Art Square Cafe and Gallery in downtown Toronto. And we're excited to be having one of the passioneers of Toronto, who is a personal branding expert, a speaker, a guide, and an author. So Basim, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure.
So tell us, our viewers, what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As mentioned, I'm a personal branding expert as well as a speaker, a guide, and as well I've got my book coming up in the press as well. So my motivation is to help clients land jobs as well as get their next promotion, find clients, or let's say even find opportunities such as sponsorship. The way I do that is I help them build their personal brands, so increase their visibility, really build their marketing architecture, whether it's through virtual or personal and whatnot. I have a whole series of tools, whether it's virtual courses or whether it's also one-on-one mentoring, that sort of a thing, and as well as speaking to large crowds. So that's my focus, that's my definite purpose. I turn personal brands into profitable empires.
That's great. So how many companies today?
How many companies? Well, what do you mean by companies? Because I work with individuals, but many of my clients, yes, they are companies.
Right.
But I work with individuals to help build.
And how many companies have you personally found?
Personally found? Oh wow. So there's a couple that are actually most prominent. There's Corporate Method Technologies,
right,
which help build marketing architectures and things like that. But that works for corporate. Then there's also Buzz Ventures,
right,
which helps take young entrepreneurs from the dorm room to the boardroom. And then there's also Basim Mirza International,
right,
which obviously is all about me.
Excellent. And what is that? What does that involve?
Well, again, working with personal brands, getting out there and really, inspiring and motivating audiences to really take their personal brand seriously and take it to the next level. Really help them get closer to their opportunity and leveraging their personal brand to do so.
So how easy, according to you, is it to start a company when you're young?
Well, it really depends. It's all about execution and really having that motivation towards your definite purpose. Because if you're really intent on your definite purpose, your business model evolves. It's a matter of taking it through that ideation stage and really understanding your defined target market as well. When you know who your ideal customer is, you'll know how to serve to them and you'll know how to actually bring forward your business model towards them and really servicing their needs, because you got to understand your client too.
Does it ever happen to you that you walk into a client and they see how young you are and they're like, oh, do you know what you're doing?
Well, it's actually really interesting. Initially, that was the case. But as I started building my credibility, after doing all this writing and building all these courses, I started to, feel very comfortable working around people of all ages as well. Especially when I started, different organizations and companies. Over the years, people start getting comfortable with you and they realize that you're here to stay. And we're actually in a cohort shift now. It's actually flipping over. A lot of the older folks are learning a lot from the younger folks because we're much more savvy with social media and we're willing to adapt very quickly. So, I have a lot of clients that actually come to me that are a lot older because they feel as if they're falling behind and they need to shift. So, at the end of the day, embrace the fact that you're young, because not only do you have a lifetime of worth, but you also have the ability to persuade and motivate people of all ages.
That's fantastic.
It's true. So tell us a bit more about your book. It seems like a really exciting time in your life. Your book's coming out in a couple of weeks. So
I've got a whole process put down. And really it's all about building your personal brand. So essentially the first chunk, the phase one, is all about building your personal social media architecture. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it, and bringing it forward so that it carries your definite purpose as well. But then phase two is all about getting your website up and running overnight. So that concept I call the overnight website. So what that means is, you've hired web developers and whatnot. There's a sense of frustration sometimes when you're relying on someone else to make one small change or you want to get a hold of them, and you may not be able to get a hold of them.
Right.
There's a lot of these tedious issues when it comes to web development. I bring my automated processes forward so people can have their custom website up and running within 2 hours. That's the interesting thing, and that's what my tools and tricks actually teach people. With that being said, the third phase is all about getting the analytics, the measurements, and really breaking down your social networks into a science. So you understand your second degree, third degree networks, and things like that, so that you can actually target them for prospecting and all that sort of stuff. So that way you're actually converting. So you're turning your personal empire into a profitable machine too. So whether you're trying to get your next job or getting your next promotion, that sort of a thing, but you're also able to get business as well in case you're a business owner. So it really helps you find opportunity.
What's the book called again?
It's called Your Naked Brand. The Guide to Building Your Branded Empire.
Everybody, Your Naked Brand, check it out in a couple of weeks.
The book launch is happening very soon, so I will definitely let you guys know, and we're going to be throwing a whole bunch of parties in the city.
That would be great.
Check out our Facebook page for more information on that.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, by the way, speaking of network, how do you network? What is networking to you? Because I think personal branding, networking are very,
Well, first and foremost, dress well. Obviously,
Right.
today I did not, show that very well. However, do dress well. But at the same time, you need to be able to get reconnaissance on the person that you're trying to network towards. So if you're targeting someone, make sure you understand exactly what you're able to do, and understand the social scene as well. A lot of the tricks that I show in my book, they show you how to immerse yourself within networks. Find specific situations, understand what the value proposition is initially. So if you're going to go and approach someone, find out what is it that they do, and actually approach them with something that is of value, even if it is something that shows that you've read up on them, like if they may have done a publication, or if they've written about something, or if you found their description, look through their LinkedIn profile, find some seed of opportunity in there and bring that forward. They'll be really flattered. And when that happens, when that circumstance happens, make sure you know what the situation is and what the reason is to really grab a coffee too. Because you don't want to waste people's time, and you want to make it very clear that you're not there to waste people's time, and you're able to get them what they are looking for as well. So that conciseness really helps you effectively network. But another thing that I talk about in the book is a lot of us, we think about going to events as attendants.
Right.
I like to flip that over. If you notice, Premal, you might have noticed that most of the events I'm at, I'm influencing them. I'm going as either a panelist or a speaker, or I'm even hosting them. That makes a huge difference, especially if your purpose is to actually generate leads.
Right.
If you want to attract leads, you have to position yourself as an expert. If you're going in as an attendant, you're on a level playing field with everyone else that's there that is an attendant as well, and usually that cancels everything out. That's why I feel as if positioning yourself as an expert at these events, you should do it most of the time. You should only attend events maybe 20% of the time, and if you're going, there should be some value in it as well. So, if you're going to be around people, they should be in your ideal clientele.
Wow, that's really good advice. I usually just stand near the bar and hope someone talks to me. So, what is the one thing that you think every entrepreneur should do? If there's just one advice you had to give to an entrepreneur before, and once they've already started, one key to success, what is it?
As Napoleon Hill would put it, have a definite purpose. Absolutely have a definite purpose. Everything else will fall into place. If you have a definite purpose, you will align that with having faith. And if you're able to do that, everything will come together really well. But you will attract negative energy if you don't have a definite purpose.
But don't you think that sometimes a definite purpose also starts coming as soon as you start doing something you're passionate about?
Well, absolutely.
Right? So you don't need to be having a definite goal. You just need to get started.
Well, now, a goal is something different. A goal, you have a series of goals, let's say. These are milestones, these are objectives to get to where you want. But however, what is your vision? You got to have a vision, and something that you strive for, even if that vision evolves, even if that definite purpose evolves, if it's something different 5 years from now, you should at least have one, something that you wake up to and you look at, maybe in the bathroom mirror, or maybe, when you're walking around, you see it, or if it's on your cell phone, what is it that's driving you, and that really is a seed of opportunity, and it should be tied to your passion, and the way to find that out is what really makes you happy. If you're mingling with people, does that make you happy? Maybe that helps you understand whether you're more social and maybe you like to sell things, or if you like to, let's say, knit, if you love to knit, you might be more analytical. You could find little seeds of things that can help you understand what you want to do.
That's great.
Excellent. All right, so I think we've got some really good advice on the table now. Let's move on to our rapid fire round.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
So sorry, why don't you say what the rapid fire round?
Okay, so the rapid fire round basically is rapid questions that are going to throw at you, and
you get them on camera.
Yes,
great. That's a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And whatever questions we ask, you cannot say the word both to anything.
Both. Okay.
Yes. If we ask you two different choices, pick one.
Okay.
Or else you don't get coffee. Or we take away your coffee that you drank.
But you already bought me coffee.
Then I'll take it away.
Okay. All right.
I'm a tyrant, okay?
Okay. All right. You got it. I will listen.
Excellent. I like how this works out. All right. So questions. Being an entrepreneur or being a coach?
Being an entrepreneur.
Would you rather have a Bentley or a Ferrari?
I would rather have a Ferrari.
The last movie you watched?
Oh my God.
He doesn't watch
I hardly watch movies.
No!
Wow. What's a movie? I do, however, hear about other people watching movies, so I hear the reviews. I'm a good source.
Lame.
Okay.
Lame.
Okay. An entrepreneur doesn't have time for movies. I can't remember the last time I spent 3 hours on one thing.
Well, that sounds like a Bollywood movie. We're talking. I'm sure you watch Hollywood movies as well.
Oh, of course.
3 hour Bollywood movies.
That's true. Last good book you read?
Your Naked Friend. Because I was proofreading my own book.
Okay.
Good answer.
Excellent plugging right there, guys. Okay. If you could invest in anything and you had $1 million to do it, what would it be?
Farmlands.
Sorry, what?
Farm.
Really?
Because I think that farmers are going to be the next century's leaders. I really do. The reason why I think so is, in case, let's say what happens, what's going on with the economy, with the banks, it's so regulated now to such an extent where they're trying to control and, they're trying to impact the stimulus in negative ways and things like that. I think that one day it's going to collapse, and this is what we're depending on. And I think that banks will start to lose grip and start to lose power, and there's going to be a power shift. And the things that people want the most, where demand is actually at, people will start to fluctuate towards that demand. And what do you want the most? Food, right?
Right.
And farmers, they not only have the land, but they have the food too. So I think that farmers could potentially be future millionaires. So I would love to find farmers with
Interesting.
Interesting theory right
Insight.
there. Yeah. Favorite cuisine?
Favorite cuisine, sushi. Hands down.
Sushi.
Favorite brand?
Favorite brand? My own. That's what I'm passionate about.
Personal branding in action.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
What was your favorite subject as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Farming? Art, actually.
Really?
Art, yeah. I used to get terrible grades on everything else except art as a kid. Growing up, that was the only course where I got an A, and I used to make vases, I used to do paintings and things like that. And my art teachers, they liked it, always. But everything else, I was just a complete dud at, so.
That's great. Did you ever think of dropping out?
Sorry?
Did you ever think of dropping out?
Well, in university, I actually almost did. I had a whole, I had to overcome a lot of adversity throughout university. I even got the red letter, and I was on academic probation, and all these challenges that I had to go through. But what really, what I found some seed of opportunity there. I got into an accident. I went head first through a glass door window in my second year. And
I think that made the more entrepreneurial.
Exactly. Well, basically, I had a second shot at life, so it was a blessing in disguise. And next thing you know, I really want to always go back to the library. Every time I had one failure, I just keep going back to the library. No excuses. And what happened was I went from the bottom of my class to the top. I had such a high GPA increase that the president of the university sent me a letter recognizing my achievement.
Wow.
Obviously not on academic probation anymore, but instead, recognized for academic achievements.
Dean's list or president's list?
Well, no, I'm not that far. Nonetheless, I did a double major, finished up university, and ended up working for the banks after that. And then I left the banks to pursue a career in entrepreneurship. And next thing you know, things really took off. And so.
Do you still draw or whatever you did in art?
You know what? Not right now, but I would love to find the time to, because it is definitely something that.
You're passionate.
Well, it's a release. At the end of the day, it's a release. I would love to do that. I mean, yeah, we have our phones to do that, but that's still not. I'd love to do it on paper. Love to use a canvas. In fact, this place is very inspiring. So.
Yeah, it is, right?
Do you think that that you lose on that? Something that you've always wanted to be doing, but you're still very passionate about entrepreneurship, so you don't have time, to focus on music or art or whatever it is.
Well,
how would you even focus on getting time?
I tie it in sometimes. I find that some of my outlets actually manifest through what I'm doing. Let's say on certain projects. Like I did, I may not be able to directly do them, but sometimes the creation of what I'm doing. Let's take my virtual courses, for example. If you look at my virtual courses, there's art on the front, right? Mm-hmm. Now I actually put that together myself, even though I'm not a designer on Photoshop or anything like that. I still have a way, and I have a knack for being able to create things using other tools and whatnot, so I'm pretty resourceful. And then all of a sudden there's that element of pride. It's like, I created that, right?
Yeah.
So it still reflects in my work. It's just that it shows up in different mediums and things like that. So.
Great. So this rapid fire disintegrated into normal conversation.
Yeah, no. You see, that's where I went.
Yes.
So. I can impose my context on you.
You are that influential, aren't you? Sneaky. All right. Well, this was a very exciting and insightful conversation that we had with Basim. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
And you guys, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with more Passioneers, and we hope that you enjoyed our show. Keep talking to us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website link is down there somewhere, I'm sure. So we'll see you next week. Stay passionate, everybody. See you next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
Wow, I had so much more questions to ask, but the time is flew.
To say that.
Entrepreneur, you're not an entrepreneur anymore?
Of course I'm an entrepreneur, but that's
a gallery, art square, cafe and gallery in downtown. It was really, of course I did.
No, it was. I can tell you guys are getting curious soon.
Yeah, you know what? I love the episodes where we have our questions.
Yeah, but we never really tend to follow.
Yeah, it just becomes a conversation.
Exactly.
Well,
I think that's what coffee is all about.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or smoothie is all about too.
Yeah.
Thank you.